takeouts and underarms with swings. And what the difference actually is. Hey, what's happening, friends? Jeremiah here. I want to answer a series of questions that came up on the Patreon about a few different types of patterns and how to distinguish them. So first, you're really going to want to have your wall plane cascade down in either case. And basically it's the same as your cascade, except that you bend it onto the wall plane. And so it's a nice wide pattern, as wide as possible really, so that all of the tosses happen on this frontal plane. Now, once you've got that down, you want to start adding as much space as you can, adding as much time as you can by adding a little bit of extra loft. That loft allows you to then start to swing. Having this base pattern down is what's going to help make all the other stuff possible. Takeouts and underarms with swings. And what the difference actually is. So first of all, both of them are wall plane, both of them have the swings and the tosses, and it really becomes a matter of where the swing is happening. Let's take a look at the two different tricks with just two clubs. With the underarm swings, the swing is going to happen in the hand using that ring grip specifically. So I'm basically creating a ring with the index and thumb and adding this little swing on the outside. So if I throw a club under my arm and add the swing on the outside into the toss, we're gonna have that underarm swing pattern, this one right here. So the whole swing is happening down in the hand using that ring grip. You're gonna have to get your underarms down, but once you're there, basically you're just gonna try and loft it enough that you can add the swing underneath each toss. This is a pretty fast pattern. By contrast, when I do the takeouts pattern, I'm going to toss it in the same exact position, but this time I'm gonna take the club in between the tossed club and myself, which gives me a lot more time. I can use my whole shoulder, I can take it down to my elbow, I could still use my hand if I want to. And that really is the big difference. Otherwise, it's fairly similar. So let's take a look at that one. Every throw is still happening under the arm while I'm taking out, but I have so much more space because I'm not trying to get the clubs out here in front. Let's talk for a minute about getting into the takeouts pattern. Now, from a cold start, I would simply throw one club from the two hands underneath the arm as I start to take out. It's got a sort of a butterfly feeling or a same time, opposite direction feeling to it. And you can loft them pretty high because you've got all this time, and then bring it down as you get better. So it can be really useful to break that down into just two clubs, toss, toss, trying to make sure that the throw happens under the arm in both cases. And emphasize that butterfly shape, that same time, opposite direction shape. A lot of these patterns are best not practiced indoors because sometimes that can happen and you might break something. This one starts to open up the door for a lot of other possibilities because you have so much more time to work with. Just add a little more loft. You can start doing swings behind the shoulders. All right, some extra food for thought, because this frontal wall plane is so useful, are some of the other patterns that this starts to open up. Begin considering where your swings happen. All right, so we already pointed out the inside swing here. If you start opening that up and adding a little bit of an anti-spin flavor, then you can have a quite different and much more interesting looking pattern, in my opinion. And basically the only difference is that when I'm catching the club, rather than just swinging on the outside before tossing, I'm adding anti-spin by going as far in the opposite direction as possible and then bringing it back into the toss. Every time I catch it, I bring it as far as I can, and then I'm creating basically a triangular shape with the anti-spin. I'm thinking of the points on the lower sides and then one on the top where the toss happens. And so with just one club, the path looks like this. All the clubs follow that path. And the further you can draw that club across the body before coming back for the anti-spin, the sharper it will look. Another really great one from here is, instead of the swing happening in front of you, make the swing happen behind you. So you have to throw it a little bit wider so that as soon as you catch it, you still use that ring grip, but you swing it on the back plane, and then you swing it across into the toss. I've heard this called a French Cascade. The whole pattern looks like this. When that starts feeling comfortable, you can change the point of toss so that the toss happens like from the far side, and you get that same anti-spin toss that we talked about in the last one. The toss position's the same. It's just where the swing happens that is different. Well, hey, that's all I got for you right now. We just talked about takeouts versus underarm with swings, and then we threw in some French Cascade, a couple variations of it, and anti-spin Cascade. If you got any questions or you want to help support the channel, go check out the Patreon. You can watch a lot of the tutorials for free on the Patreon, ad-free, because I'm all about trying to create spaces where you don't have to watch ads all the time to get good information. So if you can't support the channel, no worries, come over there and you can watch a lot of tutorials for free. But if you can, a couple bucks a month really helps provide this as a service to help onboard more jugglers and flow artists around the world. So thanks for being here. Hope you learned a little something, and take care out there. Bye.